small groups, Wednesday night, Saddleback Church. We're glad that you guys came tonight. As you can see, we have Alex the Atheist here to answer questions tonight.
Hello, everybody.
Hey! I'd like to welcome those viewing through volunteeryouthministry.com. Subscribe today. Sweet. Anyway, support that crowd out there. Anyway, Alex is gracious enough to come here and be interviewed tonight. Call him Alex the Atheist just because it was cute and fun. But we've become good friends, and we're going to find out a little bit about what he believes and what he doesn't believe tonight, and how his interactions with the Christian world, what we can learn from that, and the secular view of Christians. Alex, just to get things started, I want to know a little bit about you. Like, tell us about your family, brothers and sisters, parents, pets, quirks, something. Just who are you?
Okay, 21 years old, born in Santa Ana Hospital, lived in LA until I was 2 years old, then moved up to Orange County with my family, used to live off Geronimo and Alicia over there, then moved over by the lake after the 8th grade in Hazel Crest in Canyon Crest. Represent.
Well, your family's kind of unique because your mom is Catholic and your dad's Jewish, but they're not practicing their faith. Did that come into play at all in your household, or just it wasn't an issue because they weren't practicing their faith?
My mom was brought up Catholic and my dad was brought up Jewish, and then basically after they moved out, they just stopped they stopped practicing it. They still had some of the beliefs, but we celebrate Christmas and Hanukkah, and but more in a holiday sense, less than a spiritual sense. Or
it's kind of a secular holiday.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just common practice nowadays just to celebrate those holidays, even if you're not part of those the religions that they're tied to.
Cool.
But
awesome. Why don't you move your chair back?
Yeah.
So you're not having to turn to see me. Now, tell me how many, you have brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I have 2 brothers.
Call from Attila.
Is there a way to turn that on? Okay.
They back it up a little bit or something?
Anyway, for those of you in YouTube land, we are experiencing caller difficulty on the answering machine. Anyway, okay,
yeah,
so
2 brothers. One's 5 years older than me. He's a full brother, and then I have a half brother on my mom's side who is 8 years older than me.
Okay.
And
so
I have a cat.
Nice. Cat's name?
Fox. We call him Boy though.
Cat
little fat thing.
with the nickname. That's funny. I love it. Okay, so which school did you go to? Which high school?
I went to Tesoro High School.
Okay, who here goes to Tesoro?
What?
Representing
Almost everybody here goes to Tesoro High School, so you guys have that in common. I'm going to guess you have a few things in common. Who was your favorite teacher at Tesoro?
Mr. Clark was one of them, and
What did Mr. Clark teach?
it was history.
Anybody have Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Do
US
you
history.
like
He
Mr.
definitely
Clark?
still teaches, I just don't know.
Okay. So, okay. What's your other favorite teacher?
Of course, I forget his name right when you asked the question, but
What did he teach?
taught another history teacher. He taught what's it called? Economics. He for your senior year, you have to take half. One semester you take an economics class, and the other one you take U.S. history.
Okay.
And he
Well, that's
teaches
fine.
the economics class.
I won't ask you who your least favorite teacher was, because that's just me. But I'm sure you guys have that in common too.
Yeah.
Hey,
Too many to list, but okay.
when you were in high school, what was it about high school that you really liked?
Just hanging out with my friends, social aspects, not so much classes, but just hanging out with my friends. About
Okay. Anything that you particularly didn't like about high school? Specifically at Tesoro, just something that you wish would have been different?
It's actually pretty far away from my house. That's one of the biggest drawbacks. It looks like a prison from the street.
True.
That's
yeah,
fun.
and then besides that, everything else was pretty cool, you know.
Okay. Let's see. I want to ask you a few questions because this is kind of what a lot of people are probably wondering about. You know, I think of an atheist and I want to look in the back of your head for like an antenna or some Martian thing or something, you know, like we're from a different planet or something. It's just kind of mysterious. What is it about?
Why are you telling them that?
I know. I'm weird that way. But there's just so much mystery behind what's the difference between an atheist and someone who believes in God. It's like, I mean, it's obvious, it's a simple thing. One believes in God, one doesn't. But there's a lot more behind, like a little bit more digging that I want to do into that. So let me ask you a few questions about who you are, what you believe. Like you've described, we've talked a lot about faith and God and things like that. And you've told me that you call yourself an atheist, but you're not really sure that's the right word to use because you don't really know what to believe. You kind of maybe believe there's a God, but you're not sure.
I think that there's never you're never 100% sure about something like that. You know, I mean, I'd say, you know, I'm maybe like 90% sure that in atheism, but overall, you know, it's like, who knows? You know, it could be, it couldn't be. You know, in my opinion.
So you're 90% sure there's not a God?
Approximately, yes.
Okay. Now, let's see. You have, like, everybody has reasons they believe what they believe. Mm-hmm. I'm curious for you, what's been the biggest influence in your life that's helped you believe the way you believe?
I think it's my parents not really forcing anything on me, and then also just the group of friends I hang out with, just throughout my life. Just that's how it's been, really.
So
they haven't really pushed anything on me either, so that's
okay.
Kind of seems like what is.
What's the opinion of the people you hang out with, as far as whether or not God exists, or do you talk about it at all?
Yeah, it's come up several times. They think it's ridiculous. I'll put it that way.
Okay, ridiculous because they don't believe in God. I'm assuming
most of them don't, and they think it's a ridiculous idea that people actually would believe in it.
And you would say most of your friends believe that, or just some of them?
I'd say most.
Okay, cool. Let's see.
Ooh.
That's a
big bug.
Exactly. Now, just to get we have a plague going on here.
Yeah, what?
Hey,
it's because it's our
so there's the issue of who is God and do you believe in Him? So 90% sure that God does not exist, but then there's the whole issue of Jesus, like, and you can believe Jesus existed, but you can doubt who He said He was. Where do you stand on Jesus?
Yeah, I mean, I think there could possibly have been a person, you know, who did things like that, but maybe not all the things that he's been portrayed that he did. You know, I'm not saying that he did none of those things or he didn't exist, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't really care that much whether he did or didn't.
Okay, I like that you say that, because to you, Jesus is a non-issue. Like, He existed, maybe, but who cares? Okay, that's good. That's not good. But I can understand.